Welcome student. We are starting electricity and its heating effect. In the earlier class, we have studied about static electricity. We have learned in static electricity that as we rub two certain bodies, they can attract charges by transferring electrons. A simple example, when a glass rod is rubbed with a piece of silk, glass rod loses electrons and becomes positively charged, while silk cloth acquires electrons and becomes negatively charged. But the total number of charges of the system remains conserved. What is the meaning of conserved? Remains same as before. Now we are coming to the concept of free electron. If we study the atomic structure, we know that matter is made up of atoms, and each atom has a positively charged nucleus at the center with negatively charged electrons revolving around it. If we provide extra energy to electron, what will happen? The electron will not remain bound to the nucleus and just come out of the atom. This type of electron is known as free electron because it is not bound to any particular nucleus and therefore free to move within the material. So we are getting a charge. Charges are of two types, positive charge or negative charge. Now we are going little beyond. Since charge of an electron that we did not know in earlier classes, now we come to know the amount of charge of an electron. We know that each electron carries 1 unit of negative charge. What does it mean? 1 unit of electron negative charge means an electron possesses 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb of charge, which is very small charge. So now we know that the SI unit of charge is coulomb, which is represented by the word capital C, and 1 coulomb is equivalent to the combined charges of 6.25 into 10 to the power 18 electrons. So we can get a general formula Q, which is in coulomb, that is equal to N into E, where N is the number of electrons and E is the charge of each electron, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. That's the first formula we get to know. Now we already know the definitions of conductors and insulators. We are now learning about the advanced definitions. Some materials, they need extra energy to free the electron. And for some materials, energy required to free an electron is very less. And it can be acquired from the surrounding and at room temperature. These free electrons contribute to the electric current because electric current is nothing but the flow of electrons. So the materials which can produce free electrons at room temperature very easily with less amount of energy, they are called conductors, like metals. And the materials which cannot produce free electrons at room temperature are known as insulators because large amount of energy is required to free an electron, like plastics, glass, wood. Now we are discussing an activity for understanding flow of charge. Suppose if you take a hollow pipe where only 7 balls can fit in. Both the ends are open. So when you try to push the 8th ball to the front opening, what will happen? One ball from the other end will come out. That means at any given time there cannot be more than 7 balls in the pipe because there is no extra space for the extra ball. One you push, one will come out. Going by this same logic, we have understood that in a conductor there may be billions or trillions of free electrons, but there is no space for an additional electron. That means when an electron is pushed from one side of the conductor, another electron will come out from the other end. And this happens instantly. That means there is no time gap. As we are pushing one electron from one side, another electron will come out from the other side. However long the conductor is, it may be 1 meter, it may be 1 kilometer. We are providing you data step. We will provide you the login ID. You can log into those videos to understand these concepts again or to reinforce the concepts. And after that, if you don't understand, we can clear your doubts in Zoom class. Now, we will understand, is there any charge on conductor when the current is passing through it? We have seen that there is no space, or we have understood from the activity that there is no space for an additional electron in the conductor, and therefore the number of electrons in the conductor remains constant even during the passage of current through it. So there is no extra charge on the conductor when the current is passing. Please keep it in your mind. So the conductor will not be charged when the current is flowing through it. It remains neutral. So from the above or from the earlier discussions, we got to know the concept of electric current, which is nothing but the flow of electrons. The rate of flow of electric charges is known as electric current. That means the number of charges flowing per unit time, that is called electric current. SI unit of current is ampere. Electric current is measured as I is equal to Q by T, where Q is the charge in coulombs and T is the time in seconds. So how do we define 1 ampere? 1 ampere is the 1 coulomb of charge flowing per second through a conductor. Now we know that conventional direction of current. We have come to know what is contributing to the electric current? The free electrons which flow from negative terminal of the battery to the positive terminal, because battery or a cell, that is the source of giving extra electrons. In a battery there are some chemicals which due to chemical reactions the electrons are formed, and where the electrons reach in, that terminal is known as negative terminal. So the electron starts flowing from the negative terminal to the positive terminal through the conductor, and that is called electronic current. But when the current was discovered, according to the convention, we decided that the current flows from positive terminal of the battery to the negative terminal. Later on, when we got to know the actual reason of current, then we did not want to confuse. What we said, the conventional direction of current is from positive to negative, and electronic current is from negative to positive. When we will study electricity chapter, we will deal with conventional direction of current which flows from positive terminal of the battery to the negative terminal of the battery. So The conventional direction of current is just the opposite to the electronic current direction. As we were discussing, what is a battery? Battery is nothing but two or more electric cells which are connected in series. That system is called battery. It is the source of producing electrons. Battery or an electric cell has two terminals, positive terminal and negative terminal. Positive terminal is known as high potential because of its high potential energy, while negative terminal is known as low potential on account of its low energy. Electric potential and potential difference. The ability of a battery's terminal to push or to pull a unit charge into the conductor is known as electric potential. In general terms, we define electric potential as the electrical condition of the body. The difference of electric potential between the positive and negative terminals of a battery defines battery's power to push charge into the conductor, or more specifically it is known as potential difference. We define the electric potential difference between 2 points A and B as the work done to move a unit charge from A to B in a conductor. Potential difference is also known as voltage. Potential difference or voltage between any 2 points is defined as the work done in moving a unit charge from one point to another on a conductor or in an electric field. See here, W is the work done in moving a charge Q from point A to B. Then the potential difference between the points A and B is VA minus VB. V stands for potential difference. V stands for voltage. So potential difference for A point is VA, potential difference for B point is VB. So the difference in potentials between the 2 points A and B is VA minus VB, and that can be calculated by the formula V by Q. Or we can say work done is equal to difference in potentials, that means VA minus VB into charge. Now if we consider the potential difference at the point B is 0, that means VB 0, potential of the point at point B is 0, that means VB is 0, then we can say VA is equal to W by Q. And generally electric potential at infinity is taken as 0. So general definition of potential difference can be defined as electric potential at a point is defined as the work done in bringing a unit charge from infinity to that point. Just now we got to know V stands for potential difference. So V is equal to W by Q. It is a general formula for potential difference and work done and charge relating three quantities: potential difference, work done and charge. So we can say W is equal to V into Q. And from the earlier definitions of current, we know current is equal to Q by T, or Q is equal to I into T. So I can write W is equal to VIT. That's the third formula we are learning. SI unit of voltage is volts. Already I told you potential difference SI unit is volt. 1 volt can be defined as 1 joule by 1 coulomb. 1 volt can be defined as when 1 joule of work is done in moving 1 coulomb of charge between these 2 points. Now we are coming to simple circuit concept. Simple circuit is nothing but the path along which current can flow. To have a simple circuit, we need a source of electrons, source of current, that is nothing but the cell or battery. To have the path, we need conducting wire. To control the flow of current, we need a switch so that sometimes the flow can be stopped. And to have a proof that the current is flowing, we need a bulb, which is nothing but a resistor. When it is glowing, we can understand the current is flowing. Switch is on. When the bulb is not glowing, that means the current is not flowing. Must be the switch is off. Instead of drawing the circuit using batteries and other things literally, we generally use some symbols to draw simple circuit diagrams. So, here in this table, we can see the symbols of a very few commonly used components in circuit diagrams. We can see electric cell, battery, plug key, closed switch, open switch, wires, electric bulb, or resistance or resistor, variable resistance, ammeter, voltmeter, galvanometer. These symbols you can read or you can see in NCERT book also. It's given from NCERT book. Now I will explain you the circuit diagrams. Look here, I think you can now understand the symbols. You can see the plus minus signs, that is the cell, one long and one short one, that is the cell. Then we can see the key. In the circuit 1, there is only one cell. In figure 2 or figure B, there are 2 cells side by side, that is side by side means in series. So we can say it's a battery. The dot of the key is implementing that the switch is on, current is flowing, and to show the flow of current we are putting the red arrows. Red arrows are showing the direction of current. Current, it's the conventional current, so it is flowing from positive terminal to negative terminal. Ammeter, did you notice the plus sign of A is connected to plus sign of cell or battery. Negative side of A is connected to the negative side of the battery through resistor and key. And XY is the resistor. It's an additional resistance. What is the meaning of V? These V's are nothing but the voltmeters we have connected. And you see, please observe that the ammeter is in the main circuit, so it is in series. But the voltmeter is in a branch, so it is in parallel circuit. Voltmeter is connected parallelly. Ammeter is connected in series. Now let's recapitulate. What are the formulas we have learned so far? We have learned 4 formulae. Number 1, Q is equal to NE, where capital Q, sometimes it is also denoted by small q. These are nothing but the charges in coulomb. Remember, it has to be in coulomb. N, number of electrons. E is the charge of an electron, which is equivalent to 1.6 into 10 to the minus 19 coulomb. Second formula, I is equal to Q by T, or I can say Q is equal to I into T, where I is current in ampere, T is time in second. is equal to third formula, V is equal to W by Q, or W is equal to V into Q. V stands for potential difference in volt. W stands for work done in joules. Instead of Q, I can substitute the value of Q by I into T. So I get the fifth formula, W is equal to VIT. We will now